normal, man. He just hangs with you. He can just hang.
Asking for direction, and that was an outtake. Andrew asking for direction when I was answering.
In the latest chapter of Hollywood's ongoing cultural reckoning, two figures known for their unapologetic and controversial stances, Mel Gibson and Joe Rogan, have joined forces in what could be described as a no-holds-barred critique of the current state of the entertainment industry and the broader cultural zeitgeist. In a recent podcast episode, the two titans took to the airwaves to dismantle what they see as the stifling influence of woke culture in Hollywood, offering a candid and at times brutal assessment of the industry that made them household names. Before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Mel Gibson, an actor and filmmaker whose career has been marked by both incredible success and high-profile scandals, has long been a polarizing figure in Hollywood, known for his roles in iconic films such as Braveheart and Mad Max, as well as his directorial achievements in movies like The Passion of the Christ and Hacksaw Ridge. Gibson has never shied away from expressing his views, no matter how controversial they might be. His career, however, took a severe hit in the mid-2000s due to a series of personal and public controversies, including accusations of anti-Semitism and racism, which left him on the fringes of Hollywood for several years. Joe Rogan, on the other hand, is a comedian, mixed martial arts commentator, and host of The Joe Rogan Experience, one of the most popular and influential podcasts in the world. Rogan's platform has become a haven for long-form, unfiltered conversations on a wide range of topics, from politics to health and everything in between. Rogan has often been criticized for providing a platform to controversial figures and for his own outspoken views, which frequently challenge mainstream narratives. Together, Gibson and Rogan represent a formidable duo of countercultural voices, unafraid to push back against the prevailing winds of Hollywood's increasingly progressive agenda. In their recent collaboration, Gibson and Rogan wasted no time in addressing what they perceive as the dangers of woke culture. The conversation kicked off with a discussion about the evolution of Hollywood, with Gibson lamenting the loss of creativity and artistic freedom in an industry that he argues has become more concerned with political correctness than with telling compelling stories. According to Gibson, the shift towards a more woke Hollywood has stifled the creative process, leading to a homogenization of content that prioritizes virtue signaling over artistic merit. Rogan, never one to shy away from controversy, agreed wholeheartedly with Gibson's assessment. He pointed out that the rise of social media has only exacerbated the problem, creating an environment where artists and creators are constantly walking on eggshells, afraid of being canceled for expressing opinions that deviate from the accepted norms. Rogan argued that this fear of cancellation has led to a chilling effect on free speech, with many in the industry choosing to self-censor rather than risk their careers by speaking out. The conversation soon turned to the broader cultural implications of wokeism, with both Gibson and Rogan expressing concern over what they see as the erosion of traditional values and the increasing polarization of society. Gibson, in particular, was critical of the way in which Hollywood has embraced identity politics, arguing that it has led to a divisive and reductive view of human experience. He lamented the loss of nuance in storytelling, suggesting that the industry's obsession with representation and diversity has come at the expense of genuine character development and narrative complexity. Rogan chimed in, noting that the emphasis on identity politics in Hollywood is reflective of a broader cultural shift towards tribalism. He argued that this focus on group identity, rather than individual merit, has led to a society where people are judged not by their actions or character, but by their membership in a particular group. Rogan warned that this trend is not only detrimental to the arts, but also to the fabric of society as a whole, as it encourages division rather than unity. One of the most striking aspects of the conversation was the way in which both Gibson and Rogan framed their critique of Hollywood and woke culture as a battle for the soul of America. They argued that the entertainment industry has always played a crucial role in shaping the national consciousness, and that by abandoning traditional values in favor of a more progressive agenda, Hollywood is contributing to the moral decay of the country. Gibson, in particular, was passionate about the need for a return to the principles that he believes made America great in the first place, including a respect for individual freedom, personal responsibility, and a belief in the power of redemption. Rogan, who has often been criticized for his own libertarian views, echoed Gibson's sentiments, arguing that the current cultural climate is stifling the very freedoms that have allowed America to thrive. He pointed out that the irony of the situation is that many of the people who are most vocal in their support of woke culture are also the ones who benefit the most from the freedoms that America provides. Rogan suggested that this disconnect is indicative of a larger problem in the country, where people are increasingly willing to trade their freedoms for the illusion of safety and security. The discussion also delved into the personal experiences of both men, with Gibson sharing stories from his own career that illustrate the changing nature of Hollywood. He recounted how, in the early days of his career, there was a greater emphasis on artistic integrity and a willingness to take risks, both creatively and commercially. However, Gibson lamented that those days are long gone, replaced by an industry that is more concerned with playing it safe and appealing to the lowest common denominator. Rogan, for his part, shared his own frustrations with the entertainment industry, particularly the way in which it has become increasingly dominated by a small, insular group of elites who dictate what is and isn't acceptable. He argued that this concentration of power has led to a lack of diversity in thought and creativity, with the same ideas and narratives being recycled over and over again. Rogan suggested that this homogenization of content is not only boring, but also dangerous, as it limits the range of perspectives and experiences that are represented in the media. As the conversation progressed, Gibson and Rogan began to explore potential solutions to the problems they had identified. Gibson, who has experienced both the highs and lows of Hollywood, argued that the only way to effect real change is to take control of the narrative. He suggested that independent filmmakers and creators need to step up and offer alternatives to the mainstream content being produced by Hollywood. Gibson pointed to his own experiences with independent filmmaking as evidence that it is possible to succeed outside of the traditional studio system, and he encouraged others to do the same. Rogan agreed, adding that the rise of digital platforms and social media has made it easier than ever for creators to bypass the traditional gatekeepers and reach audiences directly. He argued that this democratization of content is a positive development, as it allows for a greater diversity of voices and ideas to be heard. However, Rogan also warned that this freedom comes with its own set of challenges, particularly the need to navigate the ever-changing landscape of online censorship and deplatforming. The conversation also touched on the role of the audience in shaping the future of Hollywood and the broader culture. Both Gibson and Rogan emphasized the importance of supporting content that aligns with one's values and beliefs, rather than simply consuming whatever is popular or trendy. They argued that by voting with their wallets, audiences can send a powerful message to Hollywood about the kind of content they want to see. Gibson, in particular, was adamant that the power to change the culture lies in the hands of the people, and that it is up to individuals to take responsibility for the kind of media they consume. As the discussion came to a close, Gibson and Rogan reflected on the broader implications of their conversation. They both acknowledged that the issues they had raised were complex and multifaceted, and that there are no easy solutions to the challenges facing Hollywood and the culture at large. However, they also expressed a sense of hope and optimism, suggesting that by continuing to speak out and challenge the status quo, it is possible to effect real change. Gibson, who has experienced both the highs and lows of Hollywood, argued that the industry is at a crossroads. He suggested that the current wave of woke culture is not sustainable, and that eventually there will be a backlash as audiences grow tired of the same old narratives and seek out more authentic and meaningful content. Gibson expressed confidence that, in time, Hollywood will return to its roots as a place where creativity and artistic expression are valued above all else. Rogan, too, was optimistic about the future despite his criticisms of the current cultural climate. He pointed out that there are already signs of a shift happening, with more and more creators choosing to go independent and audiences seeking out alternative media. Rogan argued that this is a positive development, as it signals a growing awareness of the limitations of mainstream Hollywood and a desire for something different. He encouraged listeners to continue supporting independent creators and to remain vigilant in the fight for free speech and artistic freedom. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, What's your take on Mel Gibson and Joe Rogan's attack on woke culture? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.